Kate Northrup, and I'm here with Sara Avant. And she and I actually just met here in Boulder, in North Boulder. And we met through the internet, the interwebs. and Sara emailed me around February 2nd, which was the day that I left on the Freedom Tour. And consequently, I did not get back to her for a very long time, but I was really happy I did.
I was happy you did too.
Yeah. And so she is a yoga teacher and a teacher for women in the fields of wellness and really teaching women how to come home to their bodies, I would say, would be one
come
way
home
to describe.
to who they really are.
Yeah.
And our bodies are a main part of that.
Yeah.
The portal into that.
Cool. Yeah. Actually, I was just noting that, speaking of the portal into being who we really are, Sara actually has a pelvis up on her shelf, which I just think is the coolest thing ever. I mean, talk about really honoring where all life comes from in your decor.
I'm fascinated with the pelvis.
And is that something you really focus on in your yoga practice?
I focus on feeling awareness in the pelvis, bringing our attention through our breath and feeling awareness in and down, and the nexus of that is the pelvis.
Yeah. Cool. And actually, we've just connected also. Sara just joined Team Northrup, and one of the things we really talk about is the connection between our physical health and our financial health, and the seat of that is in the pelvis, because it's the second chakra. It's where we do all the work around money, sex, and power. So, very cool to know that you're on board with that.
I'm totally on board with that.
So you had a really interesting journey that she writes about in her forthcoming book. Would you like to show your book here? The Way of the Happy Woman, Living the Best Year of Your Life. Yeah, so tell us about your book and how that all came about.
Well, this book is really the culmination of the past 12 years of my life, and it started with the diagnosis of the early stages of cervical cancer, cervical dysplasia, when I was a senior in college at Barnard College in New York City. And that was really my wake-up call. I had been anorexic and bulimic and an exercise addict and an overachiever. And
they seem to go together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On the inside, I was a mess. On the outside, I looked perfect. And that's what I was going for, was that tight grip over myself and my life. And that was my wake-up call, that diagnosis. And shortly after, randomly I got a job offer to go teach in northern Thailand at an international school. So I went over there a couple months after that and really dove into an inquiry into how to be a woman, what it means to be a woman, and to healing myself from the inside out. So that was the basis for the book, and then all the studies that I did from then on really informed this integrative approach that is now in my book, which is part memoir, part cookbook, part yoga and meditation guide, part lifestyle guide for women to really sync up with the cycles of our own bodies and the cycles of nature, which I discovered was the foundation of my body coming back into health and my spirit coming back into happiness.
It's amazing. And one of the things, Sara actually asked me to write the preface for her book, and I wrote in there that it was so refreshing to read something that was not a prescription and that was not another program, and it wasn't like something you're supposed to add to your to-do list to follow, and because we were both raised in the Northeast, and it's very achievement focused with the whole prep school, shebang and high education deal. So that's a really refreshing piece. And do you bring that into your retreats as well?
That's a huge component, and I feel emotional even just thinking about it, because it is a central theme in my own life and practice as a woman, and so that automatically comes out in my teachings, is just to be really gentle with ourselves and really compassionate, and that's the foundation of our health, and to be truly happy is to just learn how to really parent ourselves, to really mother ourselves, to really father ourselves, and to get intimate with these bodies and the preciousness of these bodies. And from there we can really do anything.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
So I understand what you mean by mother yourself and father yourself, but for somebody who's watching who might not totally get what that is, what's something practical that you could recommend around that self-nurturance?
I think it's, for example, like today, I woke up and I was just really tired, and I've been really busy lately, and so instead of pushing myself today through my to-do list, I was just like, and I talk to myself sweetly when I talk as a mother. Say, okay, sweet girl, what do you need today? Mm-hmm. Or it's okay if you don't do that. If you take it easier, or like, what would really nurture you for lunch today? You know, to go and get a nice soup, or to make yourself some food. It's to really ask myself what I need and to give myself permission to do it, even if it doesn't make sense logistically.
Yeah, that's huge. Yeah, even listening to you right now, I'm thinking to myself, like, I don't do that very often, so...
And it's a daily practice.
Thank you. I'm going to add that into the
And
repertoire.
the father energy is more like, if I'm just been goofing off a lot, and it's like, okay, Sarah, you are seriously procrastinating, like,
right.
Sit your butt down in a chair and write that article, or whatever it is.
The loving hard ass.
Yeah.
Yeah, it takes the balance between both.
Yeah.
And it's hard to figure out, like, which one is needed.
It is.
You know, like, when it's time to push yourself versus when it's time to nurture. Because I always worry about, well, if I'm always doing the, like, soft, sweet, feminine, nurturing thing, what if I don't get anything done? So what do you have to say about that?
I think checking in on a regular basis, at least 3 times a day, just like, okay, what do I need now?
Yeah. And
start to develop that skill. And also friends. And I mean, I've also had a lot of therapy in my life. I'm a big fan of therapy.
Yeah.
It's like we need a lot of feedback, people around us, because we can do things that we don't see because they're so close to us.
Right.
So we need someone to say, like, Sarah, you're running around like a mad woman. Like, why do you need to do all these projects right now? Can you just go out dancing, or go away for a couple of days? Just like, oh, okay, thank you for giving me permission to do that. And then I see it, and it's like, yeah, I get it. So we need a team around this.
Mm-hmm, absolutely. And Sarah's actually been producing quite a bit lately between your book, and then she also just came out with a new product. Do you want to talk a little bit about that?
I did, yeah. I just came out with the Women's Circle Startup Kit, which I did with one of my friends and colleagues, Sabrina Cha, who's an extraordinary women's group leader in the Bay Area in California. And so what it is, it's a home training program for women to start up a women's circle in their own community. It leads you through, the preliminary practices for you to start to train yourself as a leader, to how to run the circle, to how to maintain it over time. And it really came out of, I was getting tons of emails from women saying, do you have a book or information about how to start a women's circle, because we need them.
Yeah.
So, and I work with women in all over the world, like Mongolia, Australia, Malaysia, just literally all corners of the world. And after I work with them in retreats or teacher trainings, they always say, I want to start a women's circle to bring this back into my life. So I created this product for that reason.
That's great. And that would be really for any woman who wants to gather together with other women. And she doesn't have to be...
You don't have to be a leader or
great.
think of yourself as a leader. It's just like if you have a desire to connect with women in a way that's not intellectual and it's not therapeutic, but it's really heart-based. Like, let's meet each other and share where we're at and mirror back to each other. So, like I was saying, so we can really grow and thrive.
And that's such a great example of the marriage between the nurturing mother energy and the father energy, like actually giving somebody a kit to do the nurturing part. That's cool.
Yeah.
And where can people come find you if they are wanting to see you live and come to hear some of your speaking or teaching?
Well, you can find me on my website, thewayofthehappywoman.com.
And the link is right below here.
And I will be also launching a new website, saraavant.com, in the next couple of months. So at either one of those.
Are they going to go to the same place, or they'll be two separate things?
Two separate things, but they'll link
so
to each other.
Both.
They'll link to each other.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
And then in person, she's going to be doing a really large. I mean, I think it's fairly large book tour, all the dates you've described to me.
I just realized last week that it is quite large.
Yeah, so tell the cities that you'll be coming to.
First, I'm going to Kripalu. That's the Mother's Day weekend, May 6th to 8th.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I'm really excited about
That's
that.
great.
Then my hometown in Connecticut, New Canaan, and New York City, and then back to Boulder and Denver. And then the month of June, I'm going to the West Coast, from San Francisco to Sacramento to Portland, Seattle, Vancouver. And then in July, I'll be in Chicago. And then in September, I'll be in the south of France. I'll lead a retreat in the south of France and then go to Copenhagen for a 5-day women's yoga teacher training.
Wow. And then she also teaches a retreat in Thailand in the winter.
Yes.
So,
yeah.
So many opportunities to come see you this year.
Yeah.
Sounds like you're going to need a nap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I love traveling, and it's like I do it well. I know how to take care of myself,
Yeah.
and I'm excited.
That's great. And what do you love about your life?
I love my freedom. I really, I love that my life feels like a work of art, and I've really created it to do the things that I love, and every day it just is getting better and better. Even though there's hard days and hard moments, hard periods of time, it's all moving me into a place of just being more in love with myself and my life.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
Yeah.
And what are you doing that you're afraid of, but you're doing anyway?
Everything.
Like what?
This book tour.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like I'm stepping into a whole new expression of myself, and I feel like my voice shaking a little bit just thinking about it. And I don't know what that looks like or what that feels like, but I'm just trusting this impulse moving out, and it's scary. I feel like I'm shedding a snake skin, and I don't know what's underneath it. So, and I go through these transformations regularly. So, but this feels like the biggest one yet, actually.
Wow.
Yeah.
Cool.
So, the fear of the unknown.
Yeah.
And of being being as big and bright and luscious and sexy and powerful that I can possibly be.
Mm-hmm.
And that's scary.
Totally. Yeah. I can relate. So go find Sara at her various websites and also on her book tour, because she's obviously coming to a city near you because she's going everywhere. And yeah, I'm just excited to know you, and thank you so much for coming on the show.
Yeah, thanks for